right, guys, Toby here from Pro Edge Trading. We're going to go over the EdgeRunner, some of the EdgeRunner signals. The main one is just the normal signals. You got the sell box, the arrow, your entry, your target, and these are what we call just the normal signals. And this is what your chart should look like, something like this. But I'm going to remove the support and resistance lines just to clear the chart up. We can see these target lines better. And these target lines, you have the indicator, you know this, but are right here. Profit target lines, you can set that to anything you want. And then change the colors, all that stuff. On the MNQ 2-minute Pro Edge bars, we have 40 ticks in there. 10 points is our suggested target. And we're just going to look at the MNQ, but I did put this up here so you can see our suggested ticks for each instrument. And same for the micros. I just put the minis up there. So there's all the values we recommend or suggest for the 2-minute chart. You can scale that up for 3, 4, 5, add not a lot per minute, 5, somewhere around 5 points per minute, 5 points. So 5-minute MNQ, you'd want to be around, 20 to 30 points. That kind of gives you an idea. The ES, add 2 or 3 points. So you'd be around 20, 24 ticks. So you get the idea. You want to scale that up as you go up in minutes. But yeah, the normal trades are pretty straightforward. You get a signal. And as you know, this indicator is on each tick. So during the formation of a bar, the criteria may line up internally. So it's going to flash this sell signal and an alert, if you have the alert set up. As the bar's forming, as it's hitting its criteria it needs to hit to generate a signal. So it may flash on and off. You get your alerts. Once the bar closes, if the criteria is still met, then the signal will stay forever. It does not repaint after a bar closes. So if you're doing this manually, that gives you a warning. You'll get a flash, you'll get alerts like this.
Sell down. Sell down.
You may have heard that in my videos.
Sell down.
There's that one.
Buy up.
The buy one.
Buy up.
If you've heard those in my videos, that's what that is. And that'll give you some warning. And then you have a timer and you just kind of watch it and you get your
order submitted.
Your buy or
Order
your sell
canceled.
ready. We'll get a sell ready for this one.
Order submitted.
And you just pop it on there right as the timer goes to 0.
Order canceled.
And then here's your target. So it tells you right here 701, here's 691, 10 points, which is 40 ticks. And your stop goes above the edge band or above at least above the candle or the edge band. We prefer the edge band. And your target is drawn on here for you. Doesn't have to be, you can turn that on off, but there it is. And that's the normal trade, just the normal signal trades. And that also automated in the bot. So, but if you're doing it manually, that's why this is on each tick. So this will flash for you, give you alerts. By the way, if you want those alert, just let me know. I'll give them to you guys, and I'll tell you where to put them if you don't know. Okay, the background trades are, as soon as the background changes colors, and it agrees, green, green, green down here, that's a valid background trade setup. And you can take these however you want. One way is, here's your entry, and your target is this whole body. So you would add this body amount if you want to, an easy way to mark it. You can draw a rectangle and then drag it up to your entry, then that would be your target. That's one way of doing it. You can also just choose to have a static target, or ride the edge band, or candle chase, however you want to do it. And then your stop goes below the candle or below the edge band, in this case of a long. And that's the background trades. Pretty straightforward. You can also, if you have the ATR running, base these off ATR of your choice, But that's the background trades. Edge band trades, I like those. That would be like, here's one. You got at least two, gotta have at least two candles. This is my criteria. You gotta have at least two candles not touching the edge band. So here we go. We call that a loop right there, looped in. It has to penetrate the edge band. If it just comes close to it, it doesn't count. It has to actually get in here at least, a few ticks. Then we're waiting for a close to happen above any of these highest highs. So here's your loop. In this loop, from the start to getting into the edge band, find the high, which is right here. And if you get a close above that high, that's your entry. If you want, you can wait for a pullback. A lot of times it'll just go without you. Like in this case, it did just go without you. Sometimes it will pull back. That's just kind of trader's choice. If you want to risk missing the trade and get in for a discount, there's nothing wrong with that. You just will miss some. Here's another one. Loops out. Here's your high. So we're looking for the high between, here and here. So here's your high. Here's a close right above the high. So there's your entry. Or like I said, you can wait for a pullback, get a discount. But your target should be at least the 10 points that we're going for on a 2-minute chart, or more. Usually you can get more out of these. You might want to follow the edge bands, do a little candle chasing, but go for at least 10 points. 1 to 2 times what you would normally go for on that chart with a normal signal. And you want to be careful though, don't just keep taking them. So you get red background. In this case, we got a red background. It changes, trend starts going up. You got the edge band, everything's going up, everything's green down here. So this is kind of the start of this trend. So you know how trends are. They trend until they don't. So don't just keep taking these. Take the first 1 or 2 and call it. And using that qualifying close keeps you out of some of these that don't follow through. Like here we're at the end of the trend, but just to show you, it comes in, never closes above, and just goes down. And they work best, like everything, in the first couple hours. As you go throughout the day, everything gets less and less reliable. You got less follow through, less participation. You start getting some more participation after 1:30 or 2, but it's sporadic and it's not dependable. Your most dependable time is in the first 2 or 3 hours. You can look for these. Here we had one on the downside here. So we got our criteria, pulls back up. But you see, you never got a close below here. So here we were in it, come out, come back in. Here's your low. We never got a close below this one. So there's nothing telling us to get in here. And you see why I think that's so important, because if you got in here somewhere, depending on your target, it just reversed on you. You didn't have a qualifying close under here. So that's the normal trades, the background trades, and the EdgeBand trades. And hopefully I explained that all right. And if you have any more questions, just let us know, comment, or let us know in Discord. And appreciate you guys watching. All right, thanks.